Welcome to Oats Uncut, where the conversations are real, raw, and refreshingly uncut. I am your host, Vineeta Khanna, and today we are exploring something that's quite literally on the tip of our tongues every single day: language. Have you ever stopped to think about how many words we use in the English language that actually come from other languages? Words like déjà vu, karma, or wanderlust, they roll off our tongue so easily. You'd never guess they began their journeys in entirely different parts of the world. So today's episode is about these travelers, words that have crossed borders, oceans, and centuries and found a permanent home in English. Let's call this episode Words Without Borders. Let's talk about the borrower, English. Now, English is a generous borrower. Some would even say a bit of a linguistic magpie. It collects shiny, beautiful words from everywhere it goes. In fact, more than 60% of English words may have their roots in other languages, from Latin and French to Sanskrit, Arabic, Japanese, and more. Each borrowed word tells a story. Sometimes it's a story of trade and exploration. Sometimes it's about conquest and colonization. And sometimes it's just admiration when one language falls in love with another's poetry and precision. So let's take a little journey through the words that have traveled far and wide to join our everyday speech. Let's start with the French connection. French, the language that we perceive to be a language of elegance and diplomacy. After the Norman conquest, the French became the language of the English court and law, and that's why even today, when we want to sound refined, we often reach for a French word. Think about déjà vu, that feeling, that eerie feeling that I've been here before. Cliché, something overused. Rendezvous, a meeting, often a romantic one. Faux pas, a social blunder. And of course, entrepreneur, someone who undertakes, who dares. And then there's food: croissant, soufflé, crème brûlée. Can you imagine ordering burnt cream at a restaurant instead of crème brûlée? Not quite the same, is it? Now let's travel to the east and explore India's linguistic legacy. English, during its long stay in India, borrowed generously from the Indian languages: Hindi, Sanskrit, Bengali, Tamil, Urdu. Words like karma, from Sanskrit meaning action or destiny; avatar or avatar, which means descent of a deity, which has now evolved to mean an online persona; guru, a teacher, a spiritual guide; bungalow, meaning bungalow in the Bengali style; jungle, loo, thug, veranda, all have Indian roots. And here's a fun one: pyjamas. That comes from jama, leg garment. So yes, your bedtime outfit has an Indian origin story too. Isn't it amazing how words can carry culture and comfort across continents? So come with me and let's go around the world in a few words. From Germany, we borrowed kindergarten, literally children's garden. From Japan, tsunami, the harbor wave. From Arabic, we got coffee from kewa. From Aztec's language, nahuatl, came chocolate. From sokolat. From Swahili, we got safari, meaning journey, and from the Czech, we got robot, which means forced labor. Each of these words carries with it a piece of human history, how people lived, what they valued, and what they discovered. When we use them today, we are unknowingly speaking tiny fragments of many different civilizations. Then there are some other words that are so unique that they simply refuse to translate. They express feelings that English didn't quite have words for. So instead of inventing one in English, they just borrowed. Schadenfreude, that sneaky German word meaning pleasure in someone else's misfortune. Saudade, from Portuguese, describing a deep nostalgic longing for something lost. Hygge, Danish for cozy contentment, that warm feeling of candles and blankets and good company. And ikigai, Japanese for a reason for being. Beautiful, aren't they? They remind us that language isn't just communication, it's emotion, philosophy, worldview, all rolled into sound. Now do pardon me if any of my pronunciations were not on point. I tried. I do see language as a bridge. The beauty of borrowed words is that they remind us how connected we are. Every word that English adopts is a little act of friendship, a bridge between cultures. It's how we becomes us. Think about it. When we say déjà vu, we are borrowing from the French emotion. When we talk about karma, we are echoing ancient Indian wisdom. When we describe hygge, we are embracing Scandinavian coziness. English, as we speak it today, isn't owned by any one nation or culture. It's a living, breathing mosaic. So the next time you use a word that feels perfect, maybe guru, cliche, or wanderlust, pause for a moment. You're not just speaking English, you're speaking history. You're carrying centuries of exchange, stories of travel, trade, art, and human connection. Words remind us that culture isn't confined by borders, and neither is beauty. Thank you for joining me on this linguistic journey through words without borders. I hope it leaves you a little more curious about the words you use and the stories they tell. If you enjoyed this episode, share your favorite borrowed word with us. Who knows? It might inspire a part 2. I am Vineeta Khanna, and this is OATs Uncut. Stay well, stay safe, remember to love and to laugh, and have a blast. We shall meet again.